Okay, for today's vocabulary, this is about Bill Gates. You may have heard of him, and this is about how he reads books. So on page 2, number 1, take notes. Kind of obvious where you're just kind of putting notes whenever if you're at a lecture or if you're at work. In this article, he chooses to take notes in his book. Sometimes, if you are kind of giving advice to a friend, or if you're training a new coworker, you might say to them, take notes. But you don't mean it literally. Like you're saying, like, take mental notes. So if you're showing like, you get like a new colleague that's very young and who doesn't know anything about, your workplace or the process or your office, you might say to that colleague, well, here's how you do it, so just take note. And that's just a way of saying, like, just pay attention and remember these things. Number 2, broad thinking, which is to be very open-minded, to consider, not just the usual things, like to consider things that might be a little progressive or might be a little bit different, to be, thinking outside of the box. Number 3, I hate this word, voluminous, a lot. Yeah, voluminous. I never say this word for this reason. So voluminous. Basically, anytime you have something that's just a huge quantity, just a lot, right? Sometimes we talk about information. We have access to voluminous information on, Facebook or Google. Next is antiquated. This is a great word. Antiquated is to say that something is very old, like an antique. You always hear this when people are talking about something from, if they have like an artifact or an antique, they call it antiquated. Sometimes we also talk about something as antiquated as like it's a little bit old-fashioned or primitive in a way. So we might call it like antiquated technology, a little bit more simple. So it just depends on the context of what you're talking about. And last, number 5, to make progress, which is to move forward or continue to improve in a certain area. And that's our vocabulary for today.